Hey everyone, this is Jack with the Trading Tribe, and today we're going to dive into a trade recap, or a daily recap, if you will, on how today went with trading natural gas and how I was able to profit over $900 within the markets in just under 2 hours trading the natural gas future. And hopefully these videos are valuable. I'll kind of walk through the different trades I actually took today and kind of my thought process, as well as why I doubled down and took quite a few buy setups. We'll start with kind of looking at the long-term chart for natural gas. So I do trade on ThinkorSwim, which is a platform provided by TD Ameritrade. And if you have any other questions, feel free to leave a comment and like and subscribe to the channel down below for a lot more content like this. And let me know if you do have any questions in the comment section. But today we're looking at the front month for natural gas, which is a futures contract that I trade on a daily basis. And we'll start with just the 5-minute, 5-day chart, or the 5-day, 5-minute chart, if you will. And that just kind of gives us an idea of really what's been occurring on the week. And really, ever since late last week, so last Thursday here, we can see at the bottom, we've basically just been in a steady uptrend for natural gas. And with that, right, I've been buying it primarily all week, right? There have still been some short setups to make money on the downside, but for the most part, other than yesterday's pretty nasty sell-off, I've essentially just been aggressively buying all week, kind of going with the direction long term. If we look at today, for example, this is the 1-minute chart. So this is kind of what's actually happened from a price action perspective on the day. And now it's actually reversing. So now we're actually dropping on the day. So there's been some pretty nice shorts later in the day as well. But I ended up being pretty much done right around 8 a.m. And we'll kind of go through the different trades I took and why I took those trades as well. And first off, we'll kind of zoom in on this uptrend initially, because that's really what I took trades on today, and kind of look through the different trades I took. I ended up right around $900, a little bit over $900 on the day. And today, right, as we looked at, right, on the long-term perspective, right, we expected gas to make a move higher. We were putting in those higher lows and higher highs all week. And similarly, right, on today's chart, right, we can see natural gas was pushing higher as early as midnight of last night, right? So pretty big moves up in the overnight session. And essentially, by the time I had woken up, right, I ended up actually getting up a little early today. We could see a pretty clear uptrend already, right? By that point, we had a pretty clear depiction of the trend and a pretty good idea that we could move higher on the day. And I have a bunch of videos on these different indicators that I use on the chart, but on a day like this, right, where the direction's extremely clear, what I'll do is I'll essentially wait for these pullbacks on an uptrend, for example, and then I'll help kind of my entry with this EMA line right here, which essentially shows the control in the short term. So as price breaks above this EMA right here, we'll see that that was kind of the beginning of that next uptrend move, right? Pulled back again, broke the EMA up again, and I entered again, right? Broke it again here, entered again, right? Broke it again here and entered again. And then one final trade way up here where it broke under the EMA. And what we call this is really a curl. So whenever price curls under it and then curls back over that EMA indicator, that is typically where I'll get in to an aggressive uptrend. So if we notice today, right, really right when I woke up, I started buying. So I bought here, and really on all of these EMA curls, I bought. As long as we had those higher highs, that's essentially the signal. So if you don't get a higher high on that prior move, that's when the trade can come with a little bit more risk. So if we look at this trade that was around 6:30 Central Time, right, we did not get a higher high. I still did take part in this trade, but this does come with a greater form of risk, right? Because we did not get that higher high, which ends up being typically that big signal for uptrends to continue and to have strength. And so essentially, I just bought natural gas all day. And then we'll notice, right, we had this pretty nasty sell off. And so, right close to the open for natural gas, right, we'll see price dropped all the way back down to VWAP and kind of hovered around VWAP for 30 minutes or so. And I actually got in one more time. So right at this EMA break, I did get in as well, hoping for a move back up to the highs, which would have been, about $500 per contract. And then as it started working, right, what I'll do is I'll move my stop loss up to break even. And so in this case, I actually got out of this final trade for break even or no gain, no loss, as it did that turnaround kind of randomly here right at the open. After that, right, direction did actually change today, so it's actually been dropping ever since. So sometimes gas will do this where we'll be trending for a little while, and then as volume ramps up and as everything digests, right, direction can change. So for me as a trend trader, I typically will focus more when direction's clear and then pump the brakes a little bit right as direction does change, because shorting today, right, has come with a little bit more risk, and you do have to be a little bit careful with going against the direction long term. So I've actually stayed out of these shorts, but there have been some really nice shorts, and that's really how I've attacked today for natural gas. And I did all of that with just one contract. So if you're wondering how expensive it is to trade gas, or the amount of capital that you need to trade gas, definitely look into it on your broker, because that can depend. Or feel free to watch any of my other videos here on the channel for a little bit more detail there. And hopefully this helps with kind of how I was able to make over $900 in just under 2 hours today. And if it does, I'll continue kind of making these daily recaps as well. Thanks, team.